Breaking this morning, Al-Qaeda announces a threat to America. The terrorist group speaks out to CNN, and we have the latest. And good morning, St. Bonaventure. In just a few hours, spring weekend kicks off with a soggy start. Plus, we're live in Cleveland for the NFL Draft. Just last night, the NFL Draft begins its first round. Will it be a boom or a bust for the Buffalo Bills? Sbu Tv starts now.
30th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. The Buffalo Bills select Gregory Rousseau.
Breaking overnight, CNN obtains an exclusive interview with members of the terrorist group Al-Qaeda. Members told CNN through intermediaries that war against the U.S. will be continuing on all other fronts unless they are expelled from the rest of the Islamic world. This comes as President Biden begins his plan to pull all troops from Afghanistan. And this weekend marks the 10th anniversary since SEAL Team 6 killed Osama bin Laden. A lot of news to get to this morning. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm Kurt Martone.
And I'm Jaron Holmes. Thank you for being with us today. Spring weekend has finally arrived. The university will hold the traditional kickball tournament in the area behind the baseball fields. Other activities like bingo, escape rooms, tie-dye, and photo booths will be available. Unfortunately, some activities are canceled due to COVID. Although spring weekend has changed, students don't feel any different about it.
Can't wait. We didn't get to have a kickball tournament or spring weekend last year, and I think it's the best time on campus, spring weekend, so I'm really just looking forward to it.
The festivities begin this evening with the annual kickball game. 64 teams with 10 players will play in a win or go home tournament. The winners and runners-up will receive a spring weekend t-shirt. The university advises all participants to stay home if sick and to continue to wear their mask. Earlier this week, new mask guidelines were released by the CDC. Guidelines state that small gatherings for those who have been fully vaccinated can be done without a mask. The new guidelines still advise for fully vaccinated individuals to continue to wear a mask within public spaces. Director of the biochemistry program here at St. Bonaventure, Dr. Xiaoning Zhang, tells us how the latest guidelines can impact St. Bonaventure's campus.
Science comes first. Then, after a little delay, CDC guideline will change. After a delay, New York State guideline will change, and then county, and then come to the university, right? So that means since we are still in the university, we still have to follow what the university tell us to do.
Those who have been fully vaccinated can now exercise outdoors, dine at outdoor restaurants, and attend small gatherings with no mask required. The CDC notes that it is important to continue to mask up around people who have not been fully vaccinated and to still take all precautions.
COVID cases drop in the county and on campus this week. In Cattaraugus County, active cases drop below 200. Total cases since the beginning of the pandemic just over 5,300, and COVID-related deaths rise to 98. And here on campus, active cases drop to 1, just in time for spring weekend to kick off. 98 people have recovered. That brings the total number of cases since the beginning of the semester to 99.
More news this week on SBU's search for a new university president. The university announces members for its search committee and the first steps they will take. The committee will start with listening sessions. They will hear from the Bonaventure community on what they want from a new president. The committee is hoping to conduct final interviews for candidates by October of this year. The committee is co-chaired by Deb Henretta, class of '83, and Michael Hill, class of '93. Elected faculty members include Dr. Mary Rose Kubal, Dr. James Pienka, and Dr. Megan Walsh. The student body will be represented by Megan Hall, class of '22. The committee is finding a successor for Dr. Dennis DePiro, who passed earlier this year. Let's send it over to Anthony Goss, who's live from Cleveland. He was there last night for the first round of the NFL Draft. Anthony, what was the atmosphere like last night?
Thanks, Kurt and Jaron. We are live in Cleveland outside of First Energy Stadium, home of the Cleveland Browns. If you take a look behind me, you will see the draft stage where the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft took place last evening. Fans came in droves last night to see their teams make their first round selections and gave a warm welcome to the league commissioner, Roger Goodell.
There you go. Come on.
While the main stage was indeed hopping, there were plenty of other opportunities and locations to view the event. Only fans who were vaccinated were allowed to sit in the inner circle located near the draft stage. So the NFL's draft experience set up in the Cleveland Browns' first Energy Stadium saw plenty of action. Fans had the option to play games, sightsee, and all around have fun. Although the weather did not exactly cooperate, the NFL expected up to 50,000 fans would be in attendance for each day of the draft experience. Later on, it was off to the bars for some of the NFL's most passionate fans. Coming up in sports, reactions to the pick of Gregory Rousseau from Bills Mafia here in the 216. That's all we have for right now. Back to you guys in the studio.
Wednesday night, President Joe Biden gave his first address to a joint session of Congress. Biden highlighted not only the infrastructure bill, but increasing minimum wage. I talked with political science department at St. Bonaventure to find out how these bills could impact Cattaraugus County. In the first address to Congress, President Joe Biden talked about his plans and what he sees for the country in the near future. The first bill he introduced was the infrastructure bill, which is supposed to help bring unemployment numbers down and make more jobs available in the U.S.
Independent experts estimate the American jobs plan will add millions of jobs and trillions of dollars to economic growth in the years to come.
Well, according to the United States Census Bureau, in 2019, Cattaraugus County's poverty rate was 14.7%, and the unemployment rate was 7.2%. I asked Dr. Mary Rose Kubal if the infrastructure bill could possibly help these numbers in the upcoming future.
Be really useful for places like Western New York, where we do have qualified workers.
Biden also expressed his urge to raise minimum wage and equal pay for women.
Raise the minimum wage to $15. We need to ensure greater equity and opportunity for women. And while we're doing this, let's get the Paycheck Fairness Act to my desk as well.
If this is done, it could help not only the amount of jobs around town, but the urge to get a job, especially since women almost make $19,000 less in total salary compared to men in Cattaraugus County, according to Data USA. I'm Jaron Holmes with Sbu TV. Dr. Mary Rose Kubal stated that changes could be on the way depending on which parts of the infrastructure bill get passed.
And coming up after the break, space entering Earth and Earth going to space, NASA announcing another mission back to the moon. Jaron?
Aliens may be coming to us first, Kurt. The Pentagon confirms UFO sightings. Stay with us as we bring you out of this world news right after this.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
If doctors, nurses, and grocery store clerks can wear a mask for 10 or 12-hour shifts, you can wear a mask for an hour or less when you go to the store. Do your part. Be New York tough. Mask up, America.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here.
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I don't think we're free in this country. For 100 years, you saw black people menaced and targeted and lynched and beaten and brutalized. I think we're burdened by this history. More people have to be willing to do that uncomfortable, inconvenient thing that justice requires for things to get better. Truth can inspire change. Learn more at EJI.org.
Welcome back, everyone. The Pentagon's Defense Department confirmed several leaked UFO sightings are in fact genuine. The government response surprised many. However, this isn't the first or last move the Pentagon will make. Jordan Fitch reports.
The government confirmation of UFO footage left many questioning what it meant. The most popular belief is that the UFOs are connected with aliens. Paranormal radio show host Zach Streifler talked about the theory and the opposing side.
I can see that being a possibility, that they definitely have technology that we would consider UFO-like, and I can see them saying, don't worry, it's not extraterrestrial, but there's always going to be that seed of doubt in the back of your mind, like, are they really telling me the truth there?
The Pentagon also assembled a task force to investigate UFOs last year due to a rise in sightings reported by the military themselves. Not to mention President Trump's coronavirus relief bill, which states U.S. intelligence would be given 180 days to release everything they know about UFOs. That day is June 25th, only 56 days away. However, Streifler is pessimistic intelligence will reveal anything major.
I think maybe you can anticipate maybe a few more videos being released, maybe a few more confirmed stories. I don't think it'll be a big informational revelation, but I do think we'll get some great new information that might advance our understanding a little bit more.
NASA and SpaceX have recently joined forces to build the most powerful rocket to go to the moon for the first time in 49 years. Jordan Mejia reports this out-of-the-world news.
After 49 years, NASA is ready for a mission back to the moon.
1, 0. Mission and liftoff. Godspeed, Endeavour, and Crew 2.
Copy, 1 Alpha. NASA has started the Artemis project, which they have also contracted SpaceX with a $2.9 billion contract to help build a new rocket ship called Starship. We wanted to hear from the local community, and this is what they had to say.
What if I told you in 3 years, we're going to be back on the moon with an autonomous rocket?
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
That would be pretty sweet.
Starship is being planned to be launched in 2024, with the rocket flying almost fully autonomously. The rocket will be able to be reused for future flights. The goal is to make this the most powerful rocket ship thus far to possibly even begin travel to Mars and begin colonizing in the future. With Sbu TV, I'm Jordan Mejia. New, now, next.
It's springtime. Just as we begin to come alive, so do the bears here in the Enchanted Mountains. The bear harvest numbers from the 2020 hunting season are released. I talked with a state wildlife expert to find out how they keep track of our furry friends. Over last year's hunting season, hunters in Cattaraugus County killed 47 bears. And in a community surrounded by woods, I spoke with a big game biologist to find out more.
We're using hunting as a tool to manage the overall bear population and to address population growth. If you were to go north towards Rochester, 15 years ago, there was no bear hunting season in that area. But as bears started to move northward in their geographic distribution, we started to open up hunting.
Now, about 8,000 bears live in New York, and the bear population has steadily been increasing. Scientists look at the number of bears killed in an area, and they then estimate whether the density of the bears has gone up or down.
One of the secondary benefits that happens with hunting is that any negative interactions with people and bears, so when a bear perceives an interaction with person as a negative, from our perspective, that's a good thing, right? You're teaching bears that interactions with people are not good.
I'm Kurt Martone, and I'm here in the woods, frankly, where bears live. Now, there are some who argue that killing bears isn't necessary, and that there's another way. The defenders of wildlife want people to coexist with bears, to lock up food and to be wary of known bear areas. And to minimize your contact with bears, the state encourages you to lock up food and to not leave garbage and bird feeders in easily accessible places. With Sbu TV, I'm Kurt Martone.
So the Bills took a defensive end.
Yeah, I mean, pretty surprising move. I know they had a bunch of D linemen last year. I'm not really sure where they're kind of go to, but I mean, if they drafted Josh Allen, a good sleeper like that, I'm pretty sure they can do whatever they want.
You know, one thing that kind of shocked me was I saw Mac Jones drop. I mean, you got to think, the Patriots got their guy, you know, for the future, as a lot can say.
Yeah, well, hopefully Mac Jones can live up to the hype. I mean, I don't really pay attention to quarterback play, but yeah, I mean, what do you think?
I think it's a good pick. I think it's a good pick for them. You know, they're looking towards the future. They're trying to find that next Tom Brady. And we'll be right back with you.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger, the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
This week, Sbu TV's Hannah Legacy dives into the national bicycle shortage impact on Olean.
Stores in Olean have struggled to get bicycles since the start of the pandemic. Last year, people looked for outdoor activities to do during quarantine. Bicycles flew off the shelves. Bike manufacturing is mostly demand-driven, so manufacturers couldn't keep up. Upcycle on 307 West State Street would normally have 75 to 100 bikes in stock. Now, only 5. Owner Chris Piacci said most bike shops sold out last spring. And, as you can see in this footage, Olean's Walmart doesn't have many more bicycles than Upcycle.
In a normal year, bike sales are a pretty large part of what we do here. It's a pretty important revenue source for us. This year, however, we're really relying on the service department to keep the lights on.
But have no fear if you're looking to get out and active on a bike. Michael Nelson, Upcycle employee, said it's possible to get a used bike or fix an old one with patience and flexibility.
If you want to ride a bike, you don't need to look for alternatives. Really, if you want to ride a bike, you just need to adjust your expectations because looking for a bike this year is going to be different than it ever has been before.
With Sbu TV, I'm Hannah Legacy. New, now, next.
If you still want to outdoor cardio but have no bike, rollerblading, running, and kayaking can still serve as alternatives.
Record number highs for COVID-19 related cases and deaths within India on Thursday. Crematoriums currently struggling to keep up with the COVID death count. Graveyards are running out of space. COVID patients overflowing to the sidewalks, waiting for hospital beds. Experts fear that because of the low rate of surveillance in India, the case count may not be accurate. The true case count in a nation could be up to 30 times higher, meaning more than 500 million infections.
Pope Francis tackles corruption and crimes within the Vatican Thursday. The Pope signed an anti-corruption decree for cardinals and senior employees within the Vatican. The decree requires cardinals and Vatican managers to sign a declaration stating they are not under investigation for various criminal acts. The declaration must be renewed every 2 years. Anyone who does not comply will be dismissed. The Pope also removed procedures that has sparred cardinals from prosecution by the Vatican's criminal tribunal. He also capped gifts received by Vatican employees at $48 per gift.
And Thursday, the FDA announced that it is taking steps to ban menthol-flavored cigarettes and all flavored cigars within the next year. The goal is to reduce disease and death from those products. Menthol is the last flavor currently allowed in cigarettes. The CDC says more than a third of all the cigarettes sold in the U.S. in 2018 were menthol-flavored. Studies have also shown that menthol flavoring can help entice young people, especially other people, to become regular smokers. And according to the CDC, smoking is the leading cause of preventable death in the U.S.
Coming up live in Cleveland, we bring you back to Anthony Goss for reactions on the Buffalo Bills' first-round draft selection and part 2 of the 2-part series on the unprecedented success this season of the Bonnie's men's lacrosse team. That and more next with Louis Genovese in sports. Stick around.
And a look now at the First Energy Stadium. We'll take you there when Sbu TV comes back. Stay with us.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for sports. We'll take you over to Louis Genovese.
Coming off one of their best seasons since the Super Bowl teams of the early 90s, there wasn't much the Buffalo Bills had to address with their first-round pick last night in the NFL Draft. But the general consensus was that the team could benefit from adding either a defensive pass rusher or a running back. And with Clemson's Travis Etienne taking off the board at 25, the decision for the Bills front office became much easier. And let's bring back Anthony Goss, who stayed with us live from Cleveland this morning. Anthony, thanks for sticking around.
Great to be here, Louie. The first round of the NFL Draft had a little bit of everything: hugs, tears, and hats. But for Bills fans, they're welcoming a new player to their defensive unit in defensive end Gregory Rousseau. Rousseau possesses a lot of physical skills that draft analysts rave about coming out of the University of Miami. He had a great redshirt freshman season, totaling 15 sacks. He sat out last year due to COVID because his mom and dad are both frontline workers, and he wanted to make sure that they were safe. But nonetheless, Rousseau comes to Buffalo with plenty of talent, plenty of ability, and will definitely be able to help the Buffalo defensive unit. And Buffalo fans were excited to see him drafted at pick 30.
At the end of the day, you got to look, he's huge, 6'6", almost 6'7", 260, and he can get after the quarterback.
For the Bills, it's not often you're picking that late in the drafts. I'm a big fan of taking defensive linemen at that point.
As you can see, there's a lot of excitement with Rousseau coming to Buffalo. We'll see how it turns out, and we'll see what the Bills do in rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL Draft when they pick tonight. But nonetheless, it's a great atmosphere in Cleveland. We're excited for the rest of the draft. Back to you in the studio, Louie.
Thanks, Anthony. Gregory Rousseau, what an amazing talent. Looking forward to seeing where the Bills go from here. Well, in just 2.5 hours, the St. Bonaventure men's lacrosse team opens up its first MAC tournament game in program history, and it will be played right here in Western New York. Our Dustin Green returns with part 2 of his 2-part series on the rise of the men's lacrosse program. He met with head coach Randy Mearns and a pair of all-MAC Bonnies as they illustrate the obstacles the team had to overcome to achieve unprecedented success here in year 3.
There you go. Randy Mearns knew progress would be hard to come by at the outset of the rebirth of the men's lacrosse program. Considering the players would serve as the foundation of the program, he wanted no misconceptions during their recruiting process.
I didn't mince words with anything. Like, if you're going to come here, you know how hard this is going to be for us to finally actually have some success. Every single student athlete that's in our program, they've all gotten the same recruiting spill. We got an incredible group of people sharing the same goal, sharing the same work ethic. When you have that, you can go accomplish anything you set your mind to, I believe.
Bonnie's goalkeeper, Brett Dobson, has that work ethic, and he has not lost sight of the vision his head coach pitched to him, despite 2 winless seasons.
Getting kind of kicked in the teeth for 16, 17 games in a row and losing allowed us to kind of have the opportunity to learn from those experiences. As we kind of start to move forward, this team's going to kind of start to achieve and reach new heights because of the stuff that we've gone through our first couple years.
And players like defenseman Zach Belcher don't just view that 2-year losing streak as a learning curve. He used it as fuel to come even more prepared for season 3.
I think those losses the first 2 years really, stung. And you have to tell your friends about how, you were losing games by 15, 10 goals, whatever the case may be. Like, it really motivates you to work hard over the summer and come back, a better man and a better lacrosse player in the fall.
After a 4-4 season and a home playoff game, it appears Coach Mearns has the right pieces in place. He now has his sights set on the next step, winning a MAC championship.
All these tough games that we've had, we have confidence now that we know we're going to be in every one of these games. Now the question is can we be on the winning side? And if you can win 3 games in the conference championship, you go to the NCAA championships.
For Sbu TV Sports, I'm Dustin Green. New, now, next.
Let's go! Face-off between the Bonnies and the Titans set for 1 o'clock this afternoon. You can catch the game on ESPN+. If St. Bonaventure can pull out the victory, they'll face the winner of Monmouth and Siena on Wednesday. We finish now with Sbu TV Sports Trivia again, a historic night for the Buffalo Bills, the latest they picked in the first round of the NFL Draft in franchise history. Their previous low was 28th. They've made 3 selections at that spot, which inspired our question for this week. Who was the last player to be taken 28th overall by the Buffalo Bills, and what year was that player selected? A bit of a trick question. In 2009, the Bills had 2 first-round picks, but that didn't come at the 28th spot, and they went with center Eric Wood out of Louisville. Daniel Geyer back in the Sbu TV Sports Trivia winner's circle for a record 6th time. Congratulations, Dan. And we'll have plenty of time of draft coverage from 2 days 2 and 3 headed our way on our social media pages. Also, keep an eye out for highlights from today's MAC quarterfinals game. Enjoy the rest of the NFL Draft. Kurt and Jaron, back over to you guys.
On your screens right now, take a look at Sbu TV's social media accounts. We post updates there throughout the week. Make sure you follow us so you don't miss a thing.
And that's all the time we have now. Thank you guys so much for joining us again. I'm Kurt Martone.
And I'm Jaron Holmes.